Ciaran Mc Ivor here from Boxing Bants. I'm here with Luke Keeler. How are you getting on?
Great, yeah. We've done the 4th session there, 10 round sparring, so waiting around now for strength and going well. Yeah, best camp I ever had, so happy.
So obviously your next fight is your rematch against Conrad, and that's coming now up on the 29th of March in Belfast. How are you feeling coming ahead of this fight now?
Yeah, just perfect is the camp, you know. Like I've had a clear run in since Christmas, no niggles. Like I've been plagued with a few little hand injuries and stuff like that, and that's all sorted. Back is good, so
yeah.
And a good run in, so I'm really happy. Yeah, happy as I've been before the fight.
Yeah. So obviously before you fought Conrad, you know, a few months ago, and you were quite ahead on the scorecards at the end of the fight. Are you purely taking the rematch just to get your belt back, or you know, because a lot of people would have said, you know, the first fight wasn't as competitive to warrant a rematch. What would your thoughts be on it?
Yeah, like it wasn't a particularly close fight. But it was competitive. You know, it was a good fight, and like he spoke himself that he had an off night, kind of dismissed my own performance. He just said, like, I won the lotto basically, beating him. So it puts that to bed. It's a bit annoying, like, listening to stuff like that. So it kind of gives me a chance to put that to bed, and since my back injury, just get me back into things. It's a big fight to get out there again and push on. So styles wise, he's perfect coming forward, and I think I'm going to put in a top performance, and it'll open doors for me. So I was happy with the fight in that way. At the time I said, look, I beat him well, I'm going to push on, but the injury set me back, and I can just another chance in it, you know.
Because that's what I was going to say. Obviously, you were after the fight. I remember you said in an interview, you said, "Yeah, you know, look, I'm looking to push on now and hopefully get a world title fight within the next year or so." And like we were speaking before, you're ranked number 11 with WBO. You're right behind Liam Williams, and then 3 paces behind Jeff Horn. But obviously, you're more so you want to take this fight just to kind of put the whole Conrad Cummings rivalry to bed.
Yeah,
would that be right?
That and the fact that
he's your belt.
Yeah, it's a belt. Yeah, he has the belt, but relinquished with injury, and it kind of sets me up after having that injury. I was out with a back injury, and it kind of, like, you can jump straight back into it, like a world level class fight. Like I probably wouldn't have been ready for. There was talk of that Rosado fight that came a bit soon on Katie Taylor's undercard. So I think it's the perfect time and the extra couple of weeks prep, and hopefully he comes through his fight on Katie Taylor's undercard. He's boxing a guy who's ranked 5 or 6 with the WBO.
Yeah.
And then I seen Hearn, he spoke on June the 1st, he wants Irish English versus American on that show. So I think a world class performance against Cummings will open doors. Not that I'm looking past that, but I think it's possible, the likes of them fights.
Yeah. At the moment, Hearn said that looks like Golovkin is going to sign with the Zone, and he will become mandatory then for Andrade's belt. Is that a fight you'd love to fight the winner of that? Granted, you win this fight, and then you hopefully. Yeah,
just like I'm still developing. Like I'm probably 1-2 fights away from that level. The rate I'm improving. That like I'm still a bit away. Your man is kind of a gatekeeper, Rosado. That will tell, you know, after that. But that's the direction I'm looking in. That's the reason. I'm not hanging around and just boxing and picking up wins. I just want to keep stepping up levels. And find out, you know. Yeah.
So on the night, a lot of people were surprised by, you know, your output, your fitness, how fit you were. Like, you know, you had the 2 very bad cuts in your eye, and for the fight, your output in terms of the volume of punches you're throwing just never seemed to let up at all. Would you say that's down to you changing from Pascal over to Peter Taylor over the last year or so? And do you think your difference in training has really come on a lot? And is that, would you put that down to the reason why?
Yeah, like at the same time, like it's the training, the intensity of training, but it's also I'm full time now as a professional. So I gave up work last Christmas, and before my career before then, for 4 years, I was working full time on building sites, and kind of rushing to me training, and like you can't do both, you know what I mean? Something had to give. And that I said before, like, it was either retire or commit fully, and I've done that the past year. And like, even the level of fitness from last April has gone up another notch. Like last April I was fit and the punch output was there, but I was kind of happy just to land clean and move and fight within myself. Whereas now I'm stepping up the attacks of introducing another level again, I think, you know. And I have to show it now, obviously, in April, but I genuinely believe the way this camp is going, the sparring is going, no niggles in my hands, hurting people again in sparring, so it's just kind of all gelling together, thank God. So between going full time and under Pete, Pete does 2 sessions a day with us. Like, I'd go over once a day the Pascals, but the 2 sessions a day with the lads. Like the lads Gary Cully and Dave Oliver, they've elite fitness, like, you know what I mean? So they're training full time their whole lives, and I'm just getting to that level now in terms of the sprint sessions and stuff like that. Yeah.
During the fight, obviously, when you cut your eyes, it was down to, you know, accidental headbutts and whatnot, and they were quite bad of both your eyes. And if it went to the scorecards, if the referee had stopped at any point, you know, you probably would have won regardless. Was there ever a point in the fight where you were thinking, it might be easier just to pack it in there and go to the scorecards, or were you thinking, I just want to finish out the fight and have no excuses kind of thing?
That's it. Yeah, I think I'd never like to just finish on it and scrape a win, you know, that kind of way. That never go into my head. Like, it's kind of a bit of a fucking cowardly thing, innit? And then as well as that, just say I had got the win, like everyone said, would have said Conrad would have come on strong, and they would have added to his excuses. Like, he could have said, oh look, I was only getting into the fight, but it worked out well, I think. Not that it's well getting fucking your eyes open, but like it worked out well that it was allowed to go on, and the cuts man obviously helped. And Niall Bourne, top guy, like he's still in the corner, so it's good.
So earlier on in your career, you were fighting. You fought Tom Dunn twice. It was with Matchroom at the time for WBC international belt, if I'm right. After those 2 losses, like, how close were you thinking of? What were you thinking after the fight? Were you close to retiring, or were you thinking, I want to push on?
Yeah, no, I always knew, like, I was always the Darden fight. I had him down, obviously, and he can't be with a shot. Like, I always, if I was completely outclassed and I had a brilliant camp, I'd be a realist and say, look, I'm not doing everything right, and you're getting beaten at British level. Like, pack it in, Luke, you know, that kind of way. But I always knew in the back of my head I wasn't giving it everything, like, you know, with me boxing. So I always had that little, like, in the back of my head, like, I wasn't performing. So, like, once I get beaten at any level and I give everything, like, it's not a sport that you hang around in. But I knew with the Darden fight, even though I trained hard, I probably could have won the fight. I still thought I had levels to go, like, you know. So that was my attitude. I never contemplated retirement. I always wanted to commit. My plan always was to go full time as a pro. But you always, like, I have twin boys at home and you have a mortgage to pay, and you have to get in a position where you're making enough money from boxing. And with MTK, they've promised regular fights. Like, when I was fighting back in Dublin, you could get a show with 6 months and then you don't know when you're boxing again. So you can't say, right, I'm gonna leave, you have a mortgage and kids hanging over your head. Whereas MTK came in and they put a plan in place nearly. It gives you that confidence to say. So along with that, going full time is just coming together, you know. Yeah.
So coming up to the Conrad fight, I know you don't want to give up any tactics yourself, like, but what would you say he needs to change in order to beat you in regards to last time?
Like, he's obviously going to come in more determined, like, you know what I mean? He could have seen me last fight before that, say, with a draw. Like, I thought he won that fight. It was a draw against a big light heavy, like, he was a light heavyweight coming in. He looked at that, probably looked past me.
That journeyman there, I think is Adam Jones, I think is his name. But a lot of people would say Barry Jones has said it before, where with him, if you're going to beat him, you have to really earn it. And I've seen him fight on many Belfast shows and things like that, and he's drawn with a lot of different lads. A lot of lads felt that they've beaten him, but he's he's a tough
Ah, it takes
guy.
a beating, yeah.
He's such a tough man. Like you only have to look at his face. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's a tough guy. Like, and I think he gives anyone a tough night. He's just one of those guys. He's just there's journeyman, and then there's him, and then you branch off into
it was a blessing getting the likes of him to get the rust off.
Yeah.
Because I got shoulder surgery in September. It gave me a kick up the hole, like, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
Tough, like I was breathing in there, and it was a tough 4 rounds.
Yeah.
He weighed in at 12 stone 9. I came up weighed in the same day at 12 stone.
Yeah.
And he probably rehydrated after that 12 stone 9. I was just going up, had me breakfast. It was same day weigh-in, but
I don't think he's ever been stopped. I don't think, as far as I understand now. Obviously he's a losing record, but as far as I know, he's never been stopped.
Tough lad. So it was good, and he could have looked past me a bit. Conrad, he stopped the guy on that night. This time around, it's his world title. He's at putting his whole life into boxing. Like where does he have to go from here? Like he's under a lot of pressure. He's at putting pressure on himself again, saying Luke won the lotto. Like, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
He's saying the right things, saying how much he's improving. But I seen his last fight. Even though he's going to step her up and train hard, I thought he went backwards in his last fight. Whereas I've never felt better in my whole career. I'm only like that year of full-time training. I'm still going up in levels. So touch wood, I shower on the night and push on, you know.
Do you feel like now training with Peter and all these like Gary, Sean Turner, all these type of people, do you feel like you're adding much more wrinkles to your game in terms of what's going on inside the ring?
Yeah, it's like it's just it's as much as well with your own mindset when you're switched on. Like you can go through autopilot, like when you're not switched on. Like I went through autopilot for a couple of years, just going through the motions. But it's as much got to do. The coaching is just it's taking it in as well, and like when you're not worrying about work and going back to foot, like I'd be travelling from work and you'd be stressed about work, stressed from missing training. But if you're just, it's like anyone, like if you're completely focused on one thing, there's usually success for it. So I think now I'm just switched on, focusing completely on me boxing and just enjoying it. Like I've started to watch boxing again, you know, kind of way. I went through a stage where I didn't even look at it, like it was just kind of a chore, but now I just have that buzz and that love for the back. And I think as much as that, and obviously P is a world class coach, he's picking things out and I'm soaking her up. It's as much, it's a two-way thing, and like it's as much me listening as what you're getting as well, you know.
Yeah. So let's say hypothetically now, finally, 29th of March. Let's say you've beaten Conrad Cummings. Who do you want to fight after that? I know you obviously don't want to look past Conrad, but definitely if you had to pick, who would you
ideally, like looking forward, ideally Rosado's fighting a guy that's number 5 at the WBO. I'd love the winner of that on say the June the 1st, Joshua Show. That's a dream, like. Yeah. In order for me to do that, like every fight is a world title fight for me now. If I lose after preparing well, like I'm out boxing, like I'm not hanging around and getting a payday. Like it doesn't appeal to me. I just want to keep going up in levels. So ideally, prove that against Conrad and get the winner of Rosado, Sulilek, I think it is, some Polish guy. That's the dream. And then that, like a fight against the number 5 is technically like an eliminator, isn't it? Like anything can happen after.
You could get called at any time.
Yeah. That's the plan.
Well, Luke, really appreciate you coming on. Okay,
thanks very much. Thanks.
Okay, remember everyone, if you want to hit the subscribe button below and find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.